What kind of man promises a woman a new life, then leaves her standing alone with a baby in her arms? That was the question burning inside Savannah Mitchell as the steam engine hissed to its final stop at Willow Creek Station. The August heat in the Texas plains felt like it was pressing straight through her bonnet and into her bones as she stepped onto the dusty wooden platform. She clutched 6-month-old Emma tighter, the baby fussing in the heavy air. Passengers hurried off, greeting family and friends, but no one came for Savannah. No one called her name. No one waved. She was the last one left on the platform. The station master swept the planks nearby, casting a sympathetic glance her way. "He ain't comin', madam. Train's been here near an hour." Savannah forced down a trembling breath. She had traveled all the way from Boston. She had believed every word Harold Whitcomb wrote. The letters, the promises, the future he painted for her, and the child she had pretended was her orphaned niece. "Perhaps there's been a misunderstanding," she whispered. "Or a delay." Quote, but the station master's sad look told her the truth she didn't want to accept. There was no misunderstanding. There would be no wedding. Her throat tightened as Emma whimpered, hungry and hot. "Is there a hotel nearby?" Savannah asked, desperate to keep her dignity. Even now, "The Willow Creek Inn," the station master said, "but might be best to stop at the sheriff's office first. Mr. Whitcomb left something for you yesterday." "Yesterday?" Savannah swayed, steadying herself on her trunk. "Yesterday?" Before the man could answer, the sound of fast, heavy hoofbeats filled the air. A rider approached, tall and strong, dust swirling behind him. He dismounted in one smooth motion, boots hitting the boards with a firm thud. "Afternoon, Pete," he called to the station master. "Any packages come in for the Double R today?" "Nothing today, Quentyn. But we got a situation on our hands." Pete nodded toward Savannah. The cowboy turned. His blue eyes were striking against his sun-browned face, taking her in with one long, assessing look. Broad shoulders, worn denim, leather chaps, dust on his boots. A man used to work. A man used to this land. "Ma'am," he said, tipping his hat, his voice deep and steady. "Looks like you could use a hand." Before Savannah could speak, Emma let out a sharp, desperate cry. Savannah tried to rock her gently, but exhaustion made her arms weak. "I'm fine," she said, though her voice shook. Quentyn Ross had seen plenty of hard things in his life, but the sight of a woman abandoned with a crying baby on a scorching train platform stirred something fierce inside him. Pete leaned closer and muttered, "Mail-order bride." Whitcomb left her high and dry. Quentyn's jaw tightened. He had never liked Harold Whitcomb. The baby's wail rose higher and Savannah's shoulders trembled. "Let me hold you both," Quentyn said, stepping closer. Savannah blinked at him, confused. I don't know your name." "Quentyn Ross, ma'am. I run the Double R Ranch a few miles from here." "Just trying to help." Emma cried harder, making Savannah's arms shake. "The baby needs shade," he added gently. "And you look ready to faint. My wagon's right around the corner. Let me get you to the sheriff's office. We'll sort things out proper." Savannah had been taught never to trust strange men, but she was out of options, alone, hungry, scared. Still, she hesitated. "Why would you help me?" Quentyn didn't hesitate. "Because you look like you need it." Pete nodded. "He's good people, madam." Passed around. Savannah took a shaky breath. "I'm Savannah Mitchell, and this is Emma." Quentyn's face softened. "Pleased to meet you both." He lifted her trunk with one hand, effortlessly, and guided her toward the wagon with the other. Once there, he gestured to Emma. "May I?" With reluctance, Savannah placed her daughter into his arms. To her shock, Emma immediately quieted, staring up at Quentyn's beard with fascinated wonder. "You're good with children," Savannah murmured. "Raised my sisters after Ma passed," he said, settling her in the shade. "Babies like movement and space to breathe." Quote, he helped Savannah climb into the wagon and climbed in beside her, guiding the horse onto the street. As they rattled through town, he pointed out each building with polite ease: the general store, the church, the doctor's office. Savannah tried to listen, but fear churned in her chest. "What has become of my life?" The sheriff's small office came into view. Quentyn lifted Emma as he helped Savannah down, still holding the baby with practiced ease. Inside, Sheriff Morgan greeted them with a weary kindness. "Miss Mitchell? I've been expecting you." He slid an envelope across the desk. Her hands trembled as she opened the letter. "Miss Mitchell, I regret to inform you that I am no longer seeking marriage. I have left for California to find my fortune. Enclosed is $20 to return east. Harold Whitcomb." Savannah stared at the letter until the words blurred. $20. Not even enough for half a train ticket. She lifted her gaze, her voice barely a whisper. "What am I supposed to do now?" Quentyn stepped forward, his voice firm and steady. "Sheriff, Miss Mitchell needs a place to stay. Is Mrs. Holloway taking boarders?" "Not with children," the sheriff said gently. Silence stretched, a heavy silence. Then Quentyn spoke. "Miss Mitchell can stay at the Double R. We've got the old foreman's cabin. My sister is visiting. She'll provide proper chaperoning. And we could use help with cooking and mending." Savannah's eyes widened. "You're offering me employment? And a home?" Quote. Quentyn nodded. "Room, board, and fair wages. You deserve a safe place. And that baby deserves shade, meals, and a soft bed." Savannah's voice broke. "I don't know how to thank you." "You don't need to," he said softly. "Let's just get you settled." And as he lifted Emma again, holding her with a tenderness that made Savannah's heart twist, she wondered if fate had stepped in where Harold Whitcomb had walked away. For the first time since stepping off the train, she felt the faintest spark of hope. Savannah hadn't known what to expect from the Double R Ranch, but she hadn't expected it to feel like stepping into a quiet breath of safety. As Quentyn's wagon rolled into the yard, she saw a neat white house, a sturdy barn and field stretching wide beneath the evening sun. It was peaceful in a way she had never known. Quentyn lifted Emma from the wagon with practiced ease while Savannah gathered her skirts. "We'll get you settled in the foreman's cabin," he said. "It's small, but it's clean and close to the main house." Before Savannah could respond, a young woman stepped onto the porch. She had the same bright blue eyes as Quentyn and a warm smile already forming. "Sarah," Quentyn called, "come meet someone." Sarah hurried down the steps. "Oh my goodness," she breathed when she saw the baby in Quentyn's arms. "And who might this little angel be?" "This is Emma," Quentyn said. "And this is Miss Savannah Mitchell. She'll be helping us around the house for a while." Immediately, Sarah wrapped Savannah in a gentle hug that Savannah hadn't known how badly she needed. "Welcome," she said. "You must be exhausted. Come inside, let's get that baby cooled down." Quote. Savannah's eyes stung with tears she didn't want anyone to see. No one, not a single soul in Willow Creek, had greeted her with warmth except these two strangers who owed her nothing. Inside the cabin, the walls were clean, the bed made, and a small crib stood waiting. "It belonged to us when we were babies," Sarah explained softly. "Thought Emma could use it." Savannah pressed a hand to her heart. She had no words left. That night, after dinner with Quentyn and Sarah, she returned to the foreman's cabin, finally allowing herself to cry, not from fear this time, but from relief. Emma slept soundly in the old wooden crib, and for the first time since she left Boston, Savannah felt safe. The next morning came early, filled with the smell of coffee and sunlight pouring into her small window. Savannah dressed quickly and carried Emma to the main house. She found Sarah staring down at a bowl of batter with a frown. "Please tell me you can cook," Sarah groaned. Savannah laughed despite herself. "I can." With Emma on a blanket nearby, Savannah took charge. Soon the kitchen filled with the smell of biscuits and frying eggs. Quentyn entered and paused in the doorway, his face lighting up. "Something sure smells good in here," he said. "Savannah made breakfast," Sarah announced proudly. Quentyn helped himself to a biscuit. One bite, and he shut his eyes. "If you ever try to leave," he said seriously, "the hands might tie you to the kitchen stove." Savannah blushed, but she couldn't deny the warmth she felt at his praise. She hadn't felt useful or wanted in a long time. After breakfast, she insisted on doing the day's cleaning. Sarah kept her company while folding laundry beneath the Texas sun. "You know," Sarah said lightly, "the harvest dance is in 2 weeks. Everybody goes. You should come." Savannah felt her heart stutter. "Oh, I don't think that would be wise." "Nonsense," Sarah said. "You've been through enough. You deserve something good." "People in town know what happened," Savannah murmured. "They know I was left at the station." Sarah stopped folding and touched her arm. "Then let them talk. They don't know your heart." Quote. Savannah didn't answer. She wasn't sure Willow Creek was ready for her, or for Emma. Later that afternoon, Sarah needed supplies from town and insisted Savannah come along. Emma sat happily in Savannah's lap as the wagon rolled down the dusty main street. But as they walked through town, Savannah felt eyes on her. A few greetings were polite. Some were curious. 1 or 2 were cold. And then everything went wrong. A pair of drunken cowboys stumbled out of the saloon. One pointed straight at Savannah. "Well, ain't this the abandoned bride?" he slurred with a grin. "Whitcomb dumped you quicker than a lame horse." Sarah moved in front of Savannah. "Leave us alone, Frank." But the man leaned closer. "If you need a new husband, sweetheart, I got 2 hands and no shame." Savannah froze. Emma whimpered in her arms. Her heart hammered in her chest. And then the cowboy was yanked backward so hard he nearly fell. Quentyn Ross stood behind him. "Apologize," Quentyn said, low and dangerous. Frank's face paled. "Now hold on, Ross. I didn't." "Apologize," Quentyn repeated, eyes cold as steel. Frank swallowed. "Sorry, Miss Mitchell. Didn't mean nothing by it." "Get inside," Quentyn growled, "before you embarrass yourself further." Frank bolted. Savannah's breath trembled as she clutched Emma to her chest. "You all right?" Quentyn asked gently. She nodded, though her knees still shook. "I shouldn't have come to town." Quentyn stepped closer, lowering his voice. "You did nothing wrong. A man's behavior says more about him than it ever could about you." They walked back to the wagon. Sarah went to settle Emma in the back while Savannah climbed into the front seat beside Quentyn. Once they were alone, he spoke. "Don't let a fool's mouth decide your future." Savannah stared ahead, eyes on the hills in the distance. "Staying at your ranch will only make people talk more." "People talked before today," he said. "They'll talk tomorrow, but you're safe with us." "Why are you helping me?" she whispered. It took him a moment to answer. "When I was a boy," he said quietly, "my ma took in a woman who needed help. A woman with a baby and nowhere to go. Folks talked then too, but my ma said, sometimes the right thing is the hardest thing." Savannah turned her head. Quentyn's face was steady and sincere. "I'm helping you," he finished softly, "because something tells me you're worth helping." Savannah didn't know how to reply. No one had spoken to her like that in a long time. By the time they reached the Double R again, her heart felt different. Not healed. No, not yet, but steadier, warmer, safe. That night, after she put Emma to bed, she stepped outside. The stars glittered across the sky like silver dust. The air was cool and still. She didn't hear Quentyn approach until he spoke behind her. "Couldn't sleep?" She shook her head. "Too many thoughts." He stood beside her, hands in his pockets, looking out over the fields. "Pretty night," he said. "Makes the world feel bigger than our worries." Savannah breathed slowly, the cool air easing her chest. "Thank you," she said softly. "For what?" he asked. "For helping me when you didn't have to." Quentyn glanced at her, his blue eyes warm. "I meant what I said, Savannah. You're worth helping." For the first time since she boarded the train in Boston, Savannah let herself believe it. Morning light slipped through the cabin window, soft and warm, and Savannah woke to the sound of Emma giggling in her crib. The baby was kicking her legs, waving her tiny hands like she was greeting the day. The sight made Savannah smile. For the first time in months, she felt something like peace settling inside her. She dressed quickly, lifted Emma into her arms, and headed toward the main house. Quentyn had already finished his morning rounds and was wiping down his boots on the porch steps. "Morning," he said with that gentle smile of his. "How'd you sleep?" Savannah hesitated. "Better than I expected." His eyes softened. Good. You deserve that. Inside, Sarah was already bustling around the kitchen, muttering to herself about bacon that refused to cook evenly. Savannah slipped in beside her and took over with easy familiarity. Soon the house smelled like home. Warm biscuits, fried potatoes, and coffee. Emma babbled from her blanket on the floor, bouncing a wooden horse against her leg. Quentyn picked up the toy when it rolled near his boot. Looks like she likes this little fella. She does, Savannah said, smiling. She sleeps with it every night now. His eyes lingered on her longer than usual. Warm. Certain. Savannah felt her heart shift again, as if making room for something new. Over the next days, life settled into a quiet rhythm. Savannah cooked meals that made the ranch hands grin like children. She helped Sarah mend shirts, washed linens, brushed down horses she'd never dared touch before. Emma learned to crawl, scooting across the cabin floor with determination, making Quentyn cheer like a proud father. Through it all, Savannah felt herself changing, not into someone new, but into the woman she had always hoped she could be. One evening, while Emma slept in her crib, Savannah stepped out onto the porch for some air. The sky was filled with bright stars, and the cool breeze carried the sweet scent of prairie grass. Quentyn joined her a moment later, leaning against the railing. "You've taken to ranch life well," he said. She let out a soft laugh. "Not sure the ranch sees it that way." He shook his head. "You've brought life back into this place. Into us." Savannah turned, surprised. "Into you?" Quentyn nodded, his expression serious but tender. "I haven't felt this kind of peace in years." The silence between them felt warm, not empty. Comfortable. Right. But a part of Savannah still clung to fear. Fear of being too grateful. Fear of hoping for too much. "Quentyn," she began, "I don't want to cause trouble for you. People are talking." "They'll talk no matter what," he said simply. "But I know the truth, and so do you." "And what truth is that?" she asked, heart racing. He faced her fully. "That you belong here. That you and Emma belong here." Savannah's breath shivered in her chest. "Why? Why do you care so much?" Quote. He didn't hesitate. "Because the day I saw you at the station holding that baby, something in me knew I'd been waiting for you. Both of you." Her eyes stung. "Quentyn!" "Let me hold you both," he whispered, the same words he spoke the day they met. But this time, the meaning was different, deeper, certain. Savannah's heart broke open in the gentlest way. "Will you come inside?" he asked softly. "There's something I want to show you." Inside the cabin, Emma slept peacefully. Quentyn led Savannah to the table, where a small wooden box sat. He opened it and took out a folded piece of paper. "This came for you today," he said. "From the attorney in San Francisco." Savannah unfolded the letter with trembling hands. Her eyes widened. Harold Whitcomb had left behind a house, 20 acres of land, and a small bank account. For her, it didn't make sense. But it didn't matter. "What does this mean?" she whispered. "It means you have choices now," Quentyn said. "Real choices." Savannah looked up at him. "And what if I choose this?" Her voice wavered. "You, this place. The life we've built these past weeks?" His answer came without hesitation. "Then I'd be the luckiest man alive." Savannah felt every fear melt away, every wound ease, every heavy part of her heart lift. "Then stay," he said softly. "Stay with me. Stay with Emma. Stay at the Double R." Her breath caught. "Are you asking me what I think you're asking me?" Quentyn stepped closer, taking her hand gently. "Savannah Mitchell, will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded. "Yes, yes, I will." His kiss was soft, steady, and full of promise. Emma stirred in her crib with a sleepy coo, and Quentyn pulled back with a smile. "Looks like someone approves," he said. Savannah laughed through her tears. "She's loved you from the start." "And I've loved both of you," he answered, brushing a tear from her cheek. "From the moment I saw you." Her heart settled into a peace she had never known, a home she had never dreamed possible. Their wedding was held beneath a clear winter sky a few months later. Simple, quiet, full of joy. The ranch hands cheered, Sarah cried, and Emma clapped her tiny hands like she understood everything. Savannah became Mrs. Ross. And Emma became Emma Ross, daughter by heart, before any paper made it official. The Double R Ranch was no longer just a place to survive. It was a place of healing, a place of second chances, a place where a mail-order bride left at a station found everything she never thought she'd have: love, safety, family. And every night when Quentyn gathered Savannah and Emma into his arms, he whispered the same words that had changed everything. "Let me hold you both."